We got the killers over here.
Yeah! We got the killers over here. Yeah!
Living legend.
What's up? It's your boy Coach DOC, live from the 6-1 Great, aka the 618. This is the iLLSports Living Legends podcast. It's brought to you by iLLSports247. Today we got a special guest, a local great from the 6-1 Great, Patrick Bud Ivy, a Cahokia High School legend. Welcome, Pat. Glad you can come through during the pandemic, man. We're not gonna waste a lot of time at all. We're gonna come live and direct, everything raw.
All right, glad to be here, man. Appreciate you.
All right, so starting off, Pat, this is a question that only local people will understand this. Where do you rank yourself out of all the Cahokia quarterbacks? In the history of Cahokia quarterbacks, where do you rate yourself?
I mean, as a competitor, I rate myself number one. But you got some legendary guys out there. My boy Doc Gooden, Byron Gaddis, my Uncle Truss, Mario Suggs, Hurley Kozoi. You got a few legendary people out there that I was chasing to be great. Like, you know, I think overall, though, as a competitor, you line us up one-on-one, I take them down all up.
All right. Hey, saying that you take them down, man, I got some stats on you, man. Like, people don't know I'm a connoisseur for this football stuff, and I kind of go out and I find the next talent. I know who the greats are, and I do my research, man. And in your 2 years as a starter at Cahokia, you passed for more than 4,600 yards. Is that correct?
It's close.
Okay, so what I have from my notes and my research is that as a junior, your junior year was better than your senior year. That's what I got. Yeah. Junior year, you had close to 3,000 yards. You had 2750 with 32 passing touchdowns, 9 rushing touchdowns. I know the stat guys that was in Cahokia, I know they be off by a couple numbers here and there, give or take. I ain't saying which way they went with it, but 41 touchdowns total for a junior campaign. I think that's a very good thing. You know what I'm saying? That should have been the height of your recruiting process. How did those things go?
I just had some great guys around me. It was cool to have, you know, you got people like Jimmy Hunt, Donald Colliers, played with Teron Armstead, the legendary Teron Armstead, so that was cool.
Legendary, huh? Where you playing now?
Play for the Saints right now.
Right.
And we got Chris Crim. He was a hell of a player to play with. You know, it's numerous guys. D'Amico Broden, I can name. Brandon Beckner. You got plenty of guys that you can name out that I feel like legends in their own right, but don't get the recognition. And, you know, just that junior year was a special year. We had Doc Gooden go down, and it was kind of one of those years where I had to make a name for myself, and I felt like, you know, I was due. It was due. It was time to go ahead and exploit, you know, the talent that I had.
So I heard you speak of Doc Gooden a couple times here since you've been talking this short time. That might be somebody that we need to get on the show next. Doc Gooden, would you say he a legendary guy?
Doc Gooden definitely is a legendary guy. From basketball, track, football, like.
Hey, where the camera at? Hey, Doc Gooden. I want you to know it. We coming for you next, man. I don't know how soon, but very soon we want to see you here live on location, man. We want to talk to you, Doc Gooden. They say you are a 6-1 great, man. You from the 6-1 great and you legendary.
Yeah, definitely.
So we want to talk to you.
Definitely.
Okay, so Pat, no man, I was long gone by the time you came out of Cahokia. Where you from?
Centerville, man. I grew up in the projects.
How you spell Centerville, man?
CENTREVILLE.
So it's not,
man.
So it's not TER, it's TRE.
TRE.
Okay,
Only the real Centervilleans know that, man.
Okay, I was just asking, man. So tell me how has sports impacted your life?
I think it impacted it greatly because without sports, I think somebody from the projects don't get to travel, as much as I did. I think without sports, a lot of people don't get to see outside of East St. Louis, Centerville, or just Illinois, period. Like in St. Louis, like we just stuck in this bubble, I guess. And I think sports just showed me the world.
So being a Division I athlete, do you think those things are universal all across the country?
As far as
how sports impact the different communities?
Definitely think so. Because like a lot of kids, like I say, don't get to see that because you grew up in single parent homes and your mama can't, like, I grew up in a home where my mama raised 6 kids, but pretty much, by herself. I had a stepdaddy. Great dude, but for the most part, single parent. And some kids really got to go through the poverty situation. I think you can't just up and take a trip when you want to, or, just stuff like that.
All right, man, I'm going to get back to this interview, Pat. But what I want to mention is you got on a nice looking jersey, but what I noticed is it's a Giants jersey. And I'm sitting here with a Bears jersey, and the Bears played the Giants today. How you feel about the game, man? Did you see it?
Nah, I ain't see the game, man, but I saw the stats and the Giants lost. But it's all good, man.
I was just asking, man. Don't even worry about that, though,
it's
man.
all good.
That's neither here nor other, man. So, what's your favorite sport?
My favorite sport, football.
Football. What is it about football that drew you to football?
Oh, I think the competitiveness. I think the physicality of the game. And then it was just something I think I was good at, and my friends was good at. So just on a competitive level, we challenged each other to keep going to the next level. And that's why I think I just fell in love with the game.
All right, so some of those friends that you kind of made those bonds with playing football, are you still intertwined with those guys? And how are you intertwined with them?
Definitely. I got a few guys I still talk to. Donald Kyrie, we talk often. D'Amico Broden. I talk to Teron occasionally. Chris Crum, I ran into him. We talked. Thomas Winters, just a couple legendary guys I still run into and talk to. Try to stay in touch with.
All right, man. Now, this question here is just not really a question, but I need your honest opinion, and I need you to be unbiased. So, at the time you were in high school, Cahokia had made a stretch and made a run. They were doing things in all the sports, but less than 10 minutes away, you had that one school that wears that orange and blue that looked like the Florida Gators. They always, I see my ears to the streets, and I always see the people talk about what would have happened, the ifs, the fifths, and the would haves and the could haves. How do you think your team would have fared against East St. Louis during your time as the starting quarterback at Cahokia?
I'm going to just say, man, I think it would have been competitive, man. I ain't going to say, which side would have won or what side would have done what to what. I just think it would have been a competitive game. And, made the best team win, but I think it would have been competitive.
Who would have been the best quarterback on the field?
They had a good quarterback. He was pretty good. Lining up against each other in a competitive game, it could have went either way.
Okay. And you had a younger brother that was basically your backup, right? At Cahokia.
Yeah, at Cahokia he was.
So was he the heir to the throne at Cahokia? What happened there?
No, he ended up transferring to East Side, and he did his thing. He held his own. Montez Ivy. I think he was, eventually better than me. As you know, as we grew, I think probably maybe in college.
Okay.
He was a better quarterback than me. I think he taught me a lot of the game for the most part.
In college?
Yeah. He taught me a lot of the game. Learned something from him. He learned from me.
So what I want to know is, who had the better numbers in high school, you or your brother? Let's take the last 2 years. You say you competitive. As a competitor, did you guys ever compare the last 2 years that y'all had?
No, I think overall, I would say we were different style quarterbacks. You know, the rivals and all that could say we were the same, but I think we were different. I think I was more of a dual threat, the actual dual threat quarterback. He was a more pro style quarterback.
So you saying your brother was slow?
I ain't say that at all. I just said his style of play was
okay. I'm just asking questions, man. Ain't no big deal. Yeah. All right, man. Coming out of Cahokia, what was your journey like getting to the next level?
For me, it was different. It was just a different journey for me.
So, I know you was probably what, you was what, 3-star recruit coming out of high school, and what type of schools were looking at you?
I had a couple offers. Well, I had a offer, and I just think what I wanted and what they wanted didn't meet, so things just didn't work out for me.
So who was that one offer? Who offered you out coming out of high school?
Mizzou.
Talking about the University of Missouri?
The University of Missouri.
Coach Pringle was the head coach at the time.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. It's ironic, man. I went to the University of Missouri, man. They ain't paying off for me there.
Yeah.
I had a hell of a time, man.
Mm-hmm.
Could you tell me why you didn't go there?
Just made some bad decisions. Didn't have the right guidance that I needed. And that was just pretty much what it was.
All right, so after turning down the offer from the University of Missouri, where'd you find yourself?
Found myself at JUCO. Took the JUCO route. I think what the athletes need to understand or should know about is that JUCO not the bad route. Like, I think when we was growing up, it was more so dummies go to JUCO. You dumb, you go to JUCO. And instead of really knowing what it is, it's like really to really open up recruitment for yourself again. And I just think if we had more resources, I think more guys would have took the JUCO route and really got re-recruited. Okay. Had the resources that we needed.
So what you're saying is JUCO is just another opportunity to market yourself.
I think so. I think it's more like I see guys go to prep school who got money and stuff. So for us, I think JUCO, guys without money. That's what I mean when I say by us. We should take the JUCO route. If you ain't getting recruited, how you think you should get recruited?
Okay. Before you made it all the way to college and junior college or whatever, the recruiting process, I sat in those stands at Cahokia High School and I watched you play. And I heard some of the fans, they were calling you Slow Joe. Could you tell me what that name came from?
Slow Joe came, I say I was slow in Little League, I guess, man. I remember.
Were you slow or?
I say I had some heel spurs. My heels was pretty bad. And just didn't like running. My feet hurt all the time. So I think as I grew, I just kind of grew into my feet, I guess. I don't know. I don't really...
Oh, you toughen up. Oh, that's cool, man.
I guess if that's what you want to call it. So,
I'm not mad at that at all. So the reason I bring that up, because I was sitting in those stands, and they're like, yeah, that's Slow Joe. I'm like, who's Slow Joe? They're like, what you was number 4 or number 9? I can't remember. He was at quarterback, though. And I say, nah, he not slow. I like, that dude fast. And they told me I was crazy. So later on, this is your junior year. At the end of your junior year, I think you went to a couple camps. What did you end up running 40 in?
I ran the 4-4.
4-4? So did the nickname stick?
I haven't been called that in couple decades.
Couple decades.
Couple decades.
Man, I'm not mad at that, man. Being a dual threat quarterback, as you would like to call it, do you think you were ahead of your time?
No, I wouldn't say so because you got the Michael Vicks. I done heard about Randall Cunningham's, Donovan McNabb's. I say it's like the Steve Youngs, but you know the more modern day is Michael Vicks and just guys like that. Steve McNair.
So was any of those guys that you kind of tried to pattern your game after, or you looked up to in any aspect?
Michael Vick, I think my era of growing up, everybody wanted to be, you know, the Michael Vicks, Donovan McNabb's. I think those two black quarterbacks stood out and just running, you know, for my game. I think those two, I seen Vick after I had got fast, and then Donovan McNabb. You know,
I think you did a pretty good impression of Michael Vick in your last 2 years. According to the stats that I was able to retrieve, you rushed for 1,084 yards, 11 touchdowns. That's pretty good stats for a quarterback. What you think?
I wish I would rush for 1,000. Them stats a little off. I would have took that, but they're a little off. But you know, it was cool, man. I wish I could have rushed for 1,000 to see how they really feel. I've seen some guys rush for it, and
what was that one of your goals to rush for 1,000, or taking off and getting those yards was something that just kind of happened?
I mean, I don't think I went into the season, you know, as a goal to rush for 1,000. My goal was to win. However, that meant winning. I hate losing, so I just think, you know, the kind of rushing for 1,000 or throwing for 2,000 was never just set in my head. It was just like, let's win. If I got to rush for 200 and, you know, throw for, you know what I'm saying, I do that. So, you know, this was where I was at with it.
Okay, so as a young athlete going into a season, did you set goals?
Did I set goals? Yeah, I set winning goals. Like, you know, I wanted to be the first one to go to the state championship, lead my team to the state championship, type goals like that. But as far as numbers, I never really got caught up in the numbers until I started doing the numbers and seeing them like, oh, this, you know, I could do this. You know what I mean? So.
Okay, so as a you know, football is the ultimate team sport, but as an individual, what was the driving force behind you? You know, what was the end goal? Is the goal to win state or the goal to get a scholarship? What is the goal?
I think the end goal is definitely to win state. The end goal is definitely to win state, but for me, it was to win state and be the best at what I did. You know what I mean? Like, shoot, ever I done been, well, to my knowledge of knowing what's going on, you know, like a lot of the people I done was around younger was like legends, like living legends. I see them every day. I hear their names. You know, you got the greats that came around from. So I was just trying to be like one of them and lead my team to the state championship. Like, they great, but they never lead their team to the state championship. I'm trying to lead my team to that.
Okay. You know, I asked that question because I have a 16-year-old son. I have a son that'll be soon turning 12 as well. But when I talk to my 16-year-old son, the way high school's set up now, you know, I mean, I have to ask him, what's the goal? And in my house, the goal is to get to college, man. We want the free education. That's the goal for us. Like state championship, you know what I mean? I think that's something collectively you come together and that's what you work toward. But as an individual, man, I'm trying to get this scholarship because coming from where I'm from, I don't know about your side of town how it was for you, but where I'm from, you're not getting a dime on school. So, you know what I mean? Our goal is to get a scholarship.
I mean, but for me, and I think a lot of the guys that I grew up with, I don't know, but I feel like you know, you get to the state championship, the recruits there. You know your team good, you make it to the state championship. You ain't no scrub, you make it to the state championship. You know, you get close to it, you know they there.
So do you think the most talented team makes it to the state championship?
Nah, because I believe I played on one of the best teams ever that didn't make it. And I can vouch for a lot of the guys that was before me probably felt like they played on the best teams and didn't make it. So
I came to one of your games, man. Think you guys might. I'm trying to think, was it your year or not? Y'all was playing Sacred Heart Griffin.
that was my
Do you think those guys were more talented than Cahokia?
talented?
Yeah, talented.
I don't think nobody was more talented than us. I think the smaller schools had more resources as far as like the equipment they could use.
Okay.
Like say Cahokia High School in the poverty area, so we ain't really got the access to indoor facilities or the camps we could go to or the camera access here. I remember our camera access was pretty
Man,
bad.
you're talking about poverty-stricken schools. You have East St. Louis in the same area, man. 10 less than 10 miles away. You can run there for a good workout. You can run to East St. Louis, and that's a community that has 9 state championships. You know what I mean? So what's the difference?
I think they had the resources.
But they poverty-stricken as well.
Yeah, but I just haven't seen us at Cahokia able to use the resources they have.
Okay.
You know, it's just like different like equipment that they able to get access to. I haven't seen it in Cahokia.
All right, so one thing I want to know, in today's NFL game, you have a third of the NFL quarterbacks African American. Yet, the black QBs, they seem to have to be great in order to get a job. How do you feel about that?
I feel like that's been a thing though. Like there's nothing new. I feel like back then only like I won't say back then, but when I was growing up, all black quarterbacks do is run.
Okay.
That was a thing. So I don't know. I think we just get a label as a whole. Like all black quarterbacks not supposed to be able to throw.
Okay. So what you're telling me is that black quarterbacks were once penalized because of their athleticism.
Definitely agree with that. But I think the game has changed with the RPO and the zone reads. I think we get more respect. I think the game wasn't built for running quarterbacks, but now you got to put the running quarterbacks in the game because we put you at a disadvantage.
Well, I'm a defensive coach. I can care less about a running quarterback. We just gonna knock him out the game.
You respect him though. I definitely think you respect him.
Just gonna knock him out the game. But moving forward, it's a strange time in the world, not just America, but in the world. You have this pandemic going on, and what I want to know is they talking about football being played in the spring. How do you think that affects the rest of high school sports and the guys that play football?
I think it's a big impact on them personally, because for me, it's a certain time of the year when it's football. Like it's a certain way the grass smell. When it's being cut. When it's football season. Just different stuff like that, and the grass ain't gonna smell like that. In the springtime, and I don't know. It's just like the fall changing to the fall. And all that just give me a different vibe versus the spring. Like you got to start out in the spring, it's gonna be cold automatically. With that, what y'all starting in February?
Yeah. So the first game is actually supposed to be the first weekend in March, which is around March 5th.
That's freezing cold,
Possibly freezing cold, possibly.
So I think it's going to affect a lot of guys. I mean, just different effects how you approach it. I think it's going to affect the coaches. I don't know. I think that's just different for a lot of people.
Okay. So to piggyback off of that, do you think a senior who has signed or been offered or whatever from a university or whatnot, do you think they should play in the spring?
I think so. I think they should.
What's the purpose?
Me personally, as an athlete, I want to win that state championship.
See, but I don't think it'll be state championships if the games are compacted and reduced to rush a season. Then I don't think it'll be a state championship.
I just think personally, like, if I could bring my city a state championship, it's worth it.
So like I said, personally, the end goal for me is to get a scholarship.
Right.
So what happens if a senior gets hurt and they've already been offered? What happens if that senior gets hurt during the spring?
I mean, I think you can't live by the what if. I think you can't go by the what if.
But
what
let's say
if you go to college?
If was a fifth.
You know what I mean? Like, it just, I try not to live by the what if. I just try to, I'm a big believer in praying and living on faith. Like, if it's meant to happen, like, just go out there and make it happen.
So if you're a coach, are you upset if a senior decides to that is signed decides to not play after he graduates? He gone ahead and reports to college.
Nah, I definitely respect the guys. Like, I mean, if you already got your future, then go ahead. But at the same time, if it was me and I was in those shoes, I would play. But some guys, I would respect their decision on not playing.
Okay, so you had a bit of a journey coming out of high school. You had an offer from a Division I school, Power 5 school.
Right.
You end up going to junior college, and then you end up at HBCU. Could you please compare and contrast the differences between the levels of football play? How do you feel junior colleges and HBCUs compared to Division I schools?
I think the JUCO is the best of the best. Don't get it twisted. I think everybody got a great level of competition, but I think JUCO is Division I before Division I, because you get re-recruited and the best of the best go there. You know what I mean? No disrespect to NAIA D3s. I think top tier guys go there. You can make it out of there. For what your level of athleticism gets you. But I just think JUCO is a different type of ball game for guys who really just trying to reassert themselves or make a name for themselves.
Okay. I mean, I can kind of see where you're going with that. So, do you think HBCUs give athletes the same opportunities that Division I schools give them?
I think so. I think you get a fair chance if you go take care of your business. I think HBCU as a whole, you gotta go focus. You can't go down there and think you're gonna have a tutor for this, tutor for that, tutor for that. You gotta go down there and handle your business.
So you think going to an HBCU is harder than attending a Division I school?
I think so, just because of the resources from what I've experienced. I don't know for every HBCU, but from my experience, I didn't have a tutor for this, a tutor for that, or I could go to McDonald's here, McDonald's there. I think HBCU is a great experience. It's a great experience, but I just think we don't have the resources as predominantly white schools.
What do you feel about the level of competition at the two different types of universities?
I think it's a difference just because of the resources. I think Some schools can hold their own in the SWAC, and some just, can't. And the scores show when they play the predominantly white schools.
Okay.
Or the Power 5 schools, I would say.
So, and when you say resources, what separates the athletes when you talk about resources? Because I don't know what you mean when you say resources.
The resources as far as the training, the equipment they get to use, like the care for your body they get to have. Like I don't think the HBCU life you really just get all that.
Some of the most historic and best athletes, football players especially, have come from HBCUs.
And I think when we get that back, like the top guys come into HBCUs, then it'll go there. But we don't have the top guys. Like we get the guys that the Power 5s pretty much don't want.
And why do you think it's that way? If the experience is so wonderful going to HBCU, why do the top athletes tend not to go to HBCUs now?
Just for the better, for the better resources, because they don't at the HBCU. I don't think. I think we overlooked at the HBCU. Let me say that, because we don't have the resources that the Power 5 schools have. I've seen. I can't remember exactly which university it was, but they got tackling dummies that automatically move. We don't have those at HBCUs. Like you click a button and the robot moving and you can tackle it like a tackling dummy.
Yeah, I've seen that as well on TV, but we don't have that at Missouri.
Yeah, but I think it's a Power 5 type of thing now over a SWAC school. We wouldn't get those resources.
Nah, I got you. So now you saying that, and I'm kind of begging to differ with you. The best receiver of all time. What type of university did he go to?
He went to Valley, Mississippi Valley State. But I just think
that's an HBCU, right?
HBCU, definitely HBCU.
The top running back of all time, what they call him Sweetness.
Jackson State.
Another guy, man, like the HBCU guys, man, seem like they put up big numbers when they get to the league.
All right, in recent history, how many guys have we had though? Like really, outside of Teron Armstead, we just had a guy from Alabama State. But other than that, like
I'm saying, you saying outside of Teron Armstead, like that's a small name.
No,
that's.
I'm saying
he's an NFL manager type guy. He's top 5 left tackles in the game right now today.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And the guy just went from Alabama State. He went in the first round.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that they definitely top names, Hall of Fame names, or big time names. I'm just saying like it's like when you go to the HBCU, we diamonds in the rough.
Okay. So you got Deion Sanders who's supposedly taking the job in the HBCU. Do you think what are the odds of him bringing his kids with him to the HBCU? And are you with that? Are you for it or are you against it?
I seen his son, the one that just signed as a quarterback. He going to FAU, FIU, Florida
Atlantic, I believe.
Florida Atlantic, one of them, and I can see him going to Jackson State with his pop. So me personally, I think if I was a Deion Sanders or a big name guy or even a head coach where I could coach my son, I think I definitely would take the opportunity to coach my son in college, because I think I got the best benefit for the kids anyway. Plus it's my kid. We got the resources to give all the kids access, and we know we gonna do right by the kids.
Okay, so speaking of doing right by kids, coming from a small area like Centerville, Illinois, how do you think the recruiting process is for small school kids?
How was the recruiting process?
Yes.
For small school kids?
Yeah, I mean you have St. Louis, less than 10 minutes away, and then you have a dime in the rough like East St. Louis Senior High School that's won 9 state titles. How does schools around those schools, smaller schools, how do those kids manage to get recruited and do things?
Oh, well, I think today with the huddle, like to the access they have to advertise themselves, get on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, just all the social media resources they can have to exploit themselves. For me, back then, like, we didn't really have all that. I think MySpace was jumping then, so it wasn't like you could put your huddle link on there and the college recruiter would see it, and you sell your brand. I think you can sell your brand with the social media outlets and get yourself going. Plus, I think like a lot of coaches care for the kids, so I don't know. I just think with the recruit now, they got the access to do what they need to do.
Okay, so man, we winding down. Actually, man, I want to know life after football for Patrick Slow Joe Bud Ivy. What's life after playing football? What's that like for you? What are you doing these days?
It's pretty cool. I'm working for to get something going. Ivy League Academy.
Okay, shout out to the Ivy League Academy, man.
For to get that going, start training the QBs, get some of these kids ready. I'm coaching the Little League squad.
What's it? I ain't gonna ask you the name of your Little League squad, but what's your plans for your Little League squad and the guys that you're around?
My plan, I think we got one of the better teams around here. I think to get them ready nationally is the main goal. To just exploit them to like real football, to see like where they really are, and like up until high school to see like what we got to work on, what they got to do. I think just getting them on the national level is my goal, to see what like what they really got.
Okay. Life after football, what's that adjustment like? Do you have any kids? Are you married? Anything like that?
I got one son. I got a son. He 11. Just had a birthday, August 25th. I just had a baby girl daughter.
Okay.
On the 2nd.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Appreciate that. September 2nd. And I got a girlfriend right now. We ain't married, but we doing pretty good. Everything good.
So you got 2 Virgos?
2.
Ah, man. It's off the chain now. It's off the chain. My brother and my sister Virgos, they gonna give you problems, man. But yeah, like I said, man, it was a pleasure having you here on the Living Legends podcast, man, brought to you by iLLSports247. I say I'm your host, Doc Gooden, man. Patrick, I've been following him a long time, man. I kind of I break bread with him often. We do a lot of things together. I'm looking forward to the Ivy League Quarterback Academy. You know what I mean? Seeing how you can impact the community, impact these young quarterbacks, and help them develop. Teaching them some of the things that you learn later on in life. So with the Ivy League Quarterback Academy, tell me a little bit about what your plan is with that.
Just get them guys ready for the next level. Teaching the fundamentals of the game, footwork, mechanics, passing mechanics, just everything on how to get to that next level, on whether it's 6 to 7U, little league to middle school to high school to college to NFL. Like, I feel like I'm at that level to produce you to that.
Okay, man. Being a true student of the game, man. I know you're gonna do great things, man. I wish you nothing but the best. Thank you for coming on to the show, man. Next week we're gonna have a special guest for you guys. Make sure you guys tune in, man. Make sure you hit like, subscribe, and make sure you following us at the Living Legends Radio Sports 24/7. It's your boy, DOC. Holla.
We got the killers over here.
Yeah! We got killers over here. Yeah!